I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
To begin with, Miss Bernice, can you tell us your age today?
75,
What year were you born
1950
and your birthday?
to 1950.
How does it feel to be 75?
Not as young as what I used to be.
Miss Bernice, where are you from?
Central Louisiana. Living in a wood frame house and mama cooking, and I always did like to plant flowers in front of the house, you know, stuff like that, which I still do today.
What chores or responsibilities did you have as a child?
First of all, every Saturday we'd go to catechism. Right after catechism, I had a big plastic bag full of clothes to iron, and that was white shirts for my brothers, and I didn't have to do the blue jeans. I didn't have to iron the blue jeans. And naturally, my dresses and mom and dad's clothes and sheets. I did not iron the sheets, but the pillowcases I had to iron. And I'd cry and I'd say, Mama, why? Why we have to iron some pillowcases? Because I'd say we have to sleep on them. We had the jitney jungle, and we got all our necessities there.
What about clothing? Were you able to purchase clothing at this same store?
No, not in the same store, but we had family relative, and we'd go there to buy clothes and all, yeah.
Who was a person from your childhood who had an influence and significant impact on you?
Juanita Bilodeau. She was originally from New Orleans, and she had city experience, should I say, and we also said once we finished school, we were going to go to New Orleans and get a job and make money, and which there wasn't much of an opportunity here, but we never went.
Why?
I ended up getting married, and she ended up getting married, so we never went. She was my best friend at school.
And the dream of going
And
to
the
New
dream
Orleans.
of going to New Orleans, yeah, we wanted to go to New Orleans.
What was school like?
We always had a bus to pick us up right in front of the house. My favorite subject was English, reading, and spelling. And I loved school. I always did like school. I did. Every year I had to spring clean my bedroom. So naturally we took everything out. The mattresses went outside. So Mom and Daddy left. Where they went about, I have no idea. And we had a 9-foot broom because the ceilings were that high. So I said, yeah. And we had a faucet right there by the porch, so I hooked up the water hose and I hosed it down. I said, I'm gonna cure this fast. I said, okay. And I did. But then after I realized all the water that was on the floor, and I went, oh my God. So I got the broom and I started sweeping. And I think it stayed wet by the time they came back, but I didn't have all that water in there, you know. It was scary. It was a scary moment.
What was the biggest life lesson you learned from your parents that has stuck with you your entire life?
To be a hard worker, which I've been working since I was in school. To be honest, you know, try to be fair with everybody, and to have a lot of friends.
Did your family have traditions you fondly remember?
Yes, we'd go on certain days. We'd go on the levee and we'd go to the camp and then we'd cook and we'd roll down the levee and all of that. Yeah, it was fun. Holidays we went to my grandmother's and aunts, and so it was always an adventure.
So did you carry this tradition on as you got older?
When Carol was alive, we had a camp. We have a camp. We still have it. We'd go during hunting season and cook, just about every weekend. Family would come. Friends would come.
And Mr. Carroll's your husband.
Yes. The 60s and 70s, of course.
Did you have a place to hang out and socialize?
When I was in high school, we had Noel's. He had a swimming pool, a dance hall, room for a pool. On Saturday nights when he had a band, Mom and Daddy would go and they'd bring us. And as a young girl, we always danced. During the summer in high school, I would go into the pool, and then there were days when Miss Lucy would hire me to work in the back, to sell chips and cokes.
So you had a little income.
Oh, yes.
What did you dream of becoming when you were a young adult?
A secretary. That's about it. It was a summer job, and it was interesting because we did different tasks at school of cleaning. You had a lot of classmates that worked also, so we'd joke around and horse around.
Do you remember your first car?
Yes, the first car I had was my daddy was unable to drive at one time. He had a Plymouth Valiant. At that time I had to get my license and all, and I'd do all the driving and errands. So I had to work to get money for my insurance. I had to pay my own insurance.
What's a funny memory you still laugh about today?
My husband had a camp supper, and he came back, and needless to say, he was not sober. I was in the living room, and I watched him come in, and I had some potting cups I had planted seeds in. So he came in, and needless to say, he didn't know what it was. But he took a bite of it, and he says, "Damn," he said, "that tastes like shit." I said, "That's what it is." And I started rolling on the sofa, and I laughed. That I'll never forget. I mean, it was so funny at the time. I rolled on that sofa laughing, and I told him, I said, "Yeah, that's what it is."
It's those moments. Those moments.
But it wasn't shit. It was pot and salt.
Right.
He said it tastes like shit. Hurricane Audrey had come. I was, I believe, 7 years old. Mama had the holy water, and she, sprinkled that all over the place. She made us get underneath the table, and then it passed, but it didn't hit us direct.
Did your family have any pets?
I remember Daddy raising some goats, and I enjoyed petting them and feeding them.
Ms. Bernice, what's a simple pleasure or favorite game you enjoyed as a child that would seem strange to a kid today?
Corn cob fights. Yeah. The leftover corn cobs we use, and it's like chasing each other around the house. That was the weapon, to hit somebody, And we just play. Talk about her, girl. Her, yeah. Holidays, we'd always either at my house or at my grandmother's house. She'd always cook the biggest meal, and we had family from the city that would come, and we'd just have a good time. Birthdays, very simple. Mama would make a cake, and we'd sing happy birthday, and that's about it. And I'd get a toy. One year, I had gotten a doll, and I called her Lucy. One summer, my brothers, they being boys, they threw my doll on top of the house. I cried probably a week. Daddy got it down eventually. They were mean to me. They'd take my bike too. Nothing. Nothing. We had that summer program to work at school. They had desks. The nuns wanted us, me and my friend Juanita, to paint the bottoms of them, the iron, black. So we did. We started painting. I guess we got tired, restless, whatever. I just got my hand on a desk and on each row, and I started swinging, and the paint just fell on the floor. I freaked out. I didn't know what to do. Juanita wouldn't say anything. And she says, we're in trouble, that's it. We didn't have any rags, extra rags or anything to clean up. So I knew that the nuns had their gowns out on the clothesline. So I went get one gown and I wiped that paint, cleaned that floor, hoping that nobody would know about it. But then eventually the nuns found out because they had one missing, I had taken it and I had gone put it in a trash can, which was a big barrel outside. But they found it, and I almost lost my job, but I didn't.
I probably would have hung it back up on the clothesline, Miss Bernice.
Yeah, I never thought about that. It could have dried hard, huh?
Yeah. Did your parents find out?
No. Mom and Dad never found out.
Do you think you would have been punished if they found out?
Yes, indeed. Oh, they'd have made me go back to school, too, and talk to them about it. Don't spill no paint on the floor. Be honest and try to love everybody as much as you possibly can, because that's nothing like friends and family. I believe in family very, very much.
Have you ever been married?
Of course. Yes, ma'am.
How did you meet your spouse?
Through his sister, Nellie. She was in school, I was in school, and eventually we got together. We became friends. In fact, we'd go to the dance hall together, and that's where she introduced me to my husband, Carol.
What was your first impression of him?
Oh, I thought he looked like Elvis, but I was wrong. Well, he had those long sideburns, black sideburns, and had the black hair.
How old were you when you got married?
18. Carol and his best friend decided we all gonna move to Lettsworth. I hated it because I was always afraid because the criminals would leave Angola and they would pass along the levee. I was always afraid to live there. As a married couple, you always had your arguments. When you're living at a place that you really don't want to be, you're so uncomfortable, you're under so much stress, and you hope that, it would turn out to be better.
Miss Bernice, what do you think is the secret to a long-lasting relationship marriage?
Respect each other. If the husband made a decision, you could suggest, but don't insist on a different answer.
Do you have any life regrets?
I regret not seeing my brother live because he ended up drowning when they went shrimping.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
You need a moment?
Just go to something else.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a blessing. It's a blessing to have friends and family, and oh yes.
What are you most proud of in your life?
That I lived to be this old. Yeah. And hopefully I always ask God to give me many more years of good health with no sickness and no accidents.
Miss Bernice, what is the most important invention or change you've seen in your lifetime?
The change in computers and phones and technology.
Do you think it's for the better?
Yes, I do. Yes, for the better.
So you enjoy these luxuries?
Yes, I do, and that, knowing that I didn't have them, but my children, my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren will have all of this access, Yes. Mm-hmm.
What are a couple of important values you try to live by?
To be a good person, an honest person. No sickness. Everybody enjoying each other's visit, his company. That's all I ask for. I don't ask for a lot in life, as long as it's comfortable.
What are you most grateful for?
Having a family life, being married for 54 years, and really no tragedy in our lives. I still have my 3 sons, and being together would be the most important thing.
And your husband?
My husband's gone. My husband's deceased since 21. Learning to help each other whenever, bond with each other, carry on a good life.
What brings you the most joy and peace today?
That I'm not a sickly person. That is so important to me. I'm 75 years old and I do not take any prescription medications. So I thank the good Lord for this.
Having seen so much change in this world, what gives you hope for the future?
Not much. Not much.
Ms. Bernice, if you could relive one day of your life, what day would it be?
When the boys and the daughter-in-laws gave us a celebration for our 50th wedding anniversary. It was supposed to be a surprise, but I found out. We had a celebration. I had family from Baton Rouge all over, they came and we celebrated. They barbecued. Everybody had a great time because we had dancing, we had food, we had company. It was delightful, very delightful. I didn't know when you had boys. Why did they want to do this? We don't know, but I guess it's appreciation.
Boys love their mothers.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.